I guess I owe you a little bit of an explanation as to why I haven't been uploading a video in a while. I was in Vieux-Bocaux. I stayed there for about 1 or 2 weeks maybe, I believe. I hung out with friends and I actually started to make a video in Vieux-Bocaux. For example, this segment. This is my very good friend. He hasn't been here ever since I came because he had some back problems, so he was kind of stuck in his car. The ambulance had to come here and pick him up. We are going to take his second car, a small one, and drive off to meet him at a friend's house where he currently is resting, being taken care of. It's kind of fun driving this small car. Look at how filthy this car is. Look at it, just trash everywhere.
The little small squares camera? Oh my god. How much is this camera?
The little small square is the camera.
It is freaking expensive, no?
10,000 euros.
10,000.
I'm just kidding. We need to eat this cake.
You know where you can put this cake?
In my ass.
Yeah. You're so clever.
Just had a lovely morning chat with this gentleman. And now we are going to go and visit your tree house. You live over there in that corner now.
Yeah.
For the moment.
Exactly. But I need to do my exercise first.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, what a nice house. This is a cool house. And you have one window up here.
So my chicken house is going to be here.
What are you going to do with all the chickens?
I'm going to hit the eggs. Yeah, I'm going to reproduce them and hit some chickens sometimes.
You're going to reproduce with the chickens?
Yeah.
Are you going to have babies with the chickens?
Yeah, sure. I'm just scared about the neighbors, but I don't want to see a child.
You don't want any children?
No.
No. You can eat the children coming out of the chicken.
Mm-hmm. Why not?
Oh, you're allowed to in France, right? You can do anything here.
In France, yeah.
And I also visited another friend's house.
No.
I'm just filming the car.
No, please.
I'm just filming the car.
Yes. I don't trust you. You disturb my driving.
Yeah.
Please don't film me.
This is a French living room. Pretty cool. I believe it was yesterday I was sitting out here being treated to a super nice dinner. And this area is loaded with mosquitoes. So I was basically eaten alive by the mosquitoes.
Be careful.
The cat.
It's the cat.
Yeah. It's the cat I wanted to film.
Take off your shoes.
Yes, take off my shoes. She doesn't need to tell a Swedish guy to take off his shoes. That's what we do natively. It's our culture. Look at this little nice cat. He's so cute. This is the only cat in the whole household that I can actually get close to and cuddle with. Come here. Hey, such a cute little cat. This shower is a little bit better than the shower I have in my car. Wow! Unlimited hot water. Yeah, I'm just gonna stand here for at least, half an hour or so. No joke. I'll be out in 2 hours, okay?
Less 1 hour, please.
Less than 1 hour?
No, it takes
Yeah.
time.
I can do 3 hours.
1.
1.
Okay.
Deal.
I negotiate 1.
We negotiate 1 hour.
Yes.
The last segment of the video would have been really boring because I was the only one speaking in front of the camera. So that kind of put me off a little bit to continue making that video because I wasn't sure what to include really. And then something happened. I got slapped with a massive French tax. I just got a letter from the French tax agency that I owe them taxes, lots of taxes. That wasn't so much fun. We'll go into the details a little bit later, but basically I had to take some time off to fix that problem and other things. Right now I am in a little village of some sort. I don't even know the name of this place, but I'll put it as a caption here. I'm no longer in the south of France. This is sort of a little bit more in the middle of France, close to the Atlantic coast. And I am parked in a motorhome dedicated area. Say it, Barsky. This place has free electricity. My cat loves it here. There are free services over here. And there's actually no limit to how much electricity I can use or even for how long I can stay here. So this is a place where I could potentially live a rent-free life. I have a couple of these places, mostly in France, and there's a couple of them in Spain and Portugal, but I don't really want to be in these countries. And I only know one place similar to this in Germany. It feels like a lot of the times my mission in life, at least since a couple of years ago, has been to scout out locations like this so that I know where I can, in the event my car breaks down or the world stops functioning, I can just escape to a place like this, turn off the engine and live my life and not go anywhere. I love this corner. It's super nice. And over on the other side of this building, there are some free public toilets. Not that I used that. And then a nice park where I can run around and exercise. We're going to go into the village and I'll show you a little bit around. I'm just going to leave my car open like this. Doors, windows, everything is open. I like to leave the car like that because then obviously a thief walking by is going to think that someone is home or very close by. Barsky, are you going to join us? No? We are getting close to the main square over here. And all streets in this village look pretty much the same. Very white and bright. I love that. Lots of small streets. The dogs. Lots of small streets like this that I can stroll around on when I do my evening walks. And everything is so beautiful here. It's well kept, so white and bright, everything. Do you see how beautiful this is? Simply gorgeous. And of course, a French village is not a French village without a big church. This is something I see often in France. Basically holes where you can go through with a car or by foot in order to go somewhere else. I love it. This is probably a little small park. Oh wow, cool. No, it's not. 2 houses here where people live. I also often see weird places like this, or let's call it an odd place, where they have some kind of a roof, and beneath the roof, some kind of a collection point of water. And they have a small park. I don't really know what the purpose of this bridge is here. It looks like it's seen better days. This is not much of a sidewalk, but at least there is one. A lot of the houses in France, they're just like this, a big box with some ornaments on the top of it. I think that is pretty cute. What I also find often, unfortunately in France, is cars parked on a sidewalk. So when I walk on the sidewalk, I have to go out in car traffic because there's a fucking car there. You know, had this been Sweden, this car would have been gone in 5 minutes. They would just tow it away immediately. I can't believe I was out walking there. It's 32 degrees Celsius today. It's bloody hot, and it's 32 degrees Celsius tomorrow as well. Gosh, let's talk about all the problems I had. I took my car to the Control Technique, the car inspection station in France, because I'm obviously in France now and it was just about to expire, so I didn't want to drive around illegally in this country. And they told me that I have to replace all the tires because they were the wrong dimensions. And that wasn't so good news because I basically just had all of the tires replaced in Sweden. I was in Sweden with this car and I had a flat tire. They told me they couldn't fix that flat tire, nor did they have my tires in store, nor could they order my tires online. So they had to replace all 4 tires of my car. And now the French tells me that they were the wrong dimensions, so I have to replace them again. And I did. So that was another 1,200 euros, and I paid about 1,000 euros, if not more, in Sweden. So one flat tire eventually ended up costing me over 2,000 euros. Can you believe it? Here's something that I learned from all of this. If we go over to the driver's side, there's a little sticker here, and it says 3 numbers, 225, 75, 16. That is the dimensions of the tire. And if we look at the tire, now my tires have the same number, 225, 75, and 16. But 2 of these numbers were off from Sweden. Thank you very much, you competent mechanic in Sweden who replaced my tires. Very smart. Anyways, this was just one problem I've had recently. Let me show you a couple of other ones. This piece here, this is plastic, so see that? This broke. I can't just close and open this shade anymore with just one hand. So it's a little bit tricky, but it's manageable. So that's a smart problem. Another big problem though is what I just noticed the other day. After rainfall, I had my car parked a little bit sloping towards this end, and there was water dripping out beneath my car here. And upon closer inspection, I saw that we had water running right here all the way into this corner, and it even soaked my wooden floor here. So potentially lots of water underneath my floor of the car. But I managed to trace the water leak to the backside here. So what happens is that you have rainwater coming down on this side of the car, and then it goes down here. And I believe somewhere along the side here, this gasket or something is leaking water. So the water is going to run down here somewhere on the inside, pull up here, and then go into the car. I have a piece of paper here just now so that I can identify the leak when it happens. I put it there so that I know now I don't have a water leak inside the car, because I've been using it for showering, cooking, etc. And this paper has stayed dried. But when we had rain the other day, immediately this paper got wet. So I know there's an external leak probably somewhere on this side of the car. So it was positive news for me, because for one day, approximately, while I hadn't traced the leak, I thought my life was over. I'm going to have to find a camping car mechanic that can take everything from inside the car out to find the leak beneath the floor. So that would have been a whole project on its own. Hela tiden ska hålla på och skrika så. Shh. Nej, tyst. 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 Jag kan prata med små bokstäver. I'm trying to teach my cat to be quiet because he talks all the time, every day, all day. And so that can get quite frustrating. But I haven't found a method to make him shut up. I've tried everything in the book, spray water on the cat, scream at the cat, you name it. Kick him out from the car as soon as he starts talking. Any type of punishment really you can think of, except beating the cat. Obviously, it's not my nature to be beating cats. Nothing works. I don't know what to do really. Shortly after my arrival in Vieux-Bocaux, after the last video ended, I received a tax notice from the French government that apparently I owe them a lot of taxes. And they were just gonna, according to a schedule, reach into my French bank account and take that money. And this was not correct by them. I have a company registered in Estonia, so I do contracting work as a software developer, and my clients pay me to my Estonian business that I take dividend out of. So I pay taxes in Estonia on this money already, and therefore I shouldn't have to pay the same taxes in France. I could make the choice. I was actually talking to my accountant about this. Technically, I could first pay France and then not have to pay Estonia. But I actually told my accountant, I want the other way around. I want to first pay Estonia, and then there would be nothing left to pay in France. Because the Estonian government is pretty cool. All the web pages is in English. You can do everything remotely. Even the process of registering a company there doesn't require much effort or much money. Everything is done online and super simple. I love that. So I want to support progressive, smart, modern governments like that. And I want to punish stupid, bureaucratic governments like the French government. Anyways, a couple of years ago, I wasn't paying taxes anywhere because I wasn't registered in France. And as an absolute nomad, not registered in any country, then there is no country to make tax claims on you. But I decided that I want to pursue a French passport. Don't ask me why, I'm not so sure about it actually. to open up my access to the rest of the world. It's obviously a good idea to have a second passport, and France has territory all over the world. I got registered in France, and the following year I report my income on the tax declaration to France, and I say I had this much money as a payout, and I also paid this much taxes. Shortly after my arrival in Vieux-Bocaux, from where I ended the last video, I receive a message from the French government, the final tax declaration, that I owe them a whole lot of money. Wasn't too happy about that. And I emailed the French government, and of course they don't come back to me at all. So 1 week later, I go in person into the tax office, and I repeat everything as I just told you, and she tells me, oh, it's our mistake. I'll just enter a manual code here, blah, blah, blah. But I need to see a paper from you that you actually paid the Estonian taxes. And I'm like, okay, that's weird, because I gave you two numbers. You cannot just arbitrarily select that one number is correct, true, and the other number is false. Either you don't believe me and both of these numbers are wrong, or you believe me and both of these numbers are correct. But conveniently for them, they chose to believe the income I reported is true, but the taxes I paid and reported to them that I paid must be wrong. So now I owe them almost to the cent the same amount of money. And of course, this kind of pissed me off. But I produced a paper to her on the spot, an English paper specifying the taxes. She looks at this paper and she's like, okay, cool, everything is fine. So I'm just going to enter this manual code and you'll get a new tax declaration from us soon. Great, I go back, I'm super thrilled about it, actually, solved a big problem. Then I get a new message from the government that they need more paperwork. Now they also need paperwork to prove my income. And it has to be in a specific format. And so now I'm like, well, if you need paperwork for me to prove these numbers that I provide you, and I haven't provided you the right kind of paperwork, then how can you at the same time claim taxes for it? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. You can't say, we don't believe these numbers, they must be wrong, we need paper to prove it. But we're going to require taxes from you for that exact same numbers. We don't believe it. It's so absurdly illogical, you have no idea. I think I was able to produce the right number of papers for her, send them back to the government of France, together with a little bit text explaining to them how extremely pissed off I am about this, that this whole behavior from them reminds me of a mafia, a bad organization trying to steal money from a person that they know morally is not right because I already paid my taxes. They have no right to claim the same taxes from me again, etc., etc. You know, it pisses me off. And so this whole ordeal, which still is sort of pending, I haven't still had a final decision from the French government whether or not they're going to take back that claim. So potentially I'm looking at having to pay the French government lots of money. Again, the same taxes to two different governments. That's quite painful to bear, to be honest. Approximately at the same time, I have other tax issues related to other money from both Sweden and Estonia as well. So, long story short, there has been a lot of government work for me lately, and I keep on thinking back at the time when I wasn't registered anywhere, how easy my life was. So I have been contemplating a whole lot recently, and I just might abort my idea and mission of getting a French passport, unregister from all of these governments, and become again a true nomad that doesn't have a tax residency anywhere. This would be quite a big step for me because I've been working very hard at learning French, and fighting this French government, getting registered, which wasn't easy. All the paperwork and all the hassle I had to go through. And all I end up having as a result is more problems in my life. But this is what governments do. They only create problems. Problems. They take so much money from us, and they only create problems. And I'm pretty much fed up with it at this point. Hopefully you have a better understanding now why I took a pause. I was very busy with all of this. Took a lot of time and effort for me. And I didn't feel well at all. I was actually very angry and upset and hurt. All of this at the same time for a long time. And I still am. But I calmed down a little bit since it's hard for me to face the reality that not even the government cares about justice. They are happy to take the same taxes from me that I already paid to Estonia out of numbers that they claim is not true, yet they want taxes from me. Does not compute. Thinking about this makes me very upset. So let's change subject. let's just change subject. I think I'm going to go up to Scandinavia and start working again, momentarily for a short period of time, just to bring in some cash. What prompted this desire for me to work and bring in cash was the French government slapping this huge tax bill on me. So now I have this feeling that I need to go out and work and bring in new money. And finding work in France is very hard because of the language barrier. And I miss Scandinavia very much. I can't deal with this heat anymore. I should probably not specify my future plans too much publicly like this, because they have a tendency to change all the time, really. But thank you for joining me, and I'll catch you in the next video. Ciao.